get those guys, and every case is different, but you get those guys here on campus and have a chance to go to work with them. They can learn the terminology and the expectations, and they've got a semester to get started on. I'm excited about it, but also, as soon as we get guys on campus in June, then it's the opportunity that we can get around them the times that we can throughout the week. It's so important and valuable for them because they're all athletic, they're all really good players. But now the importance of teaching them on what they've got to know and where it becomes, the habits that they create, it becomes they've got the ability to play with confidence because they've prepared the right way and they understand it and they can play fast and they can let some of those true physical skill sets take over if you know the scheme that we're asking them to do.
When you came in, did you and Sam talk about, hey, we need to add numbers on defense, and that's why you guys signed so many?
Yeah, I think it's a big part of it, and we were in on some really good players in those spots on defense, and felt like it was a good fit. We had a chance to go get them, and so I think we signed a few more defensively than we did on offense this year, and every class is different, So we'll see how it plays out here for the next recruiting cycle. But for us, what we needed and win and really set up from the first day I was in the office. Coach Pittman put a plan together on how we were going to go attack it, and some of the roster management things that you got to work through, and those are the numbers we wanted to go get, and fortunately we were able to hit them.
Seems like linebacker depth's been an issue here forever. We've had some good linebackers, obviously, but not enough of them. And you guys signed a lot of linebackers. How do you feel about addressing that?
Well, you look at those guys that we signed and add to the current roster that we have. Those skill set guys can play so many positions. On every special team. The way that defenses are designed now and some of the things that we're getting in their sub packages, there's going to be a number of those guys have a chance to be on the field, and so the athletic bodies that can all run, and we'll find a way to put them in position to understand how to play defense.
Coach, when you were at Missouri, y'all signed a lot of defensive ends. I mean, it just seemed like y'all did every year, and played them at defensive tackle, and it looked like that was a thought.
Absolutely, and they've got to be good enough. But there's one of those premium spots in all the game of football is guys that can apply pressure to the quarterback, and you do that by scheme or you do it by winning a one-on-one block with a defensive lineman getting to the quarterback, and also past history. A number of our guys that we have in especially the defensive side coaching right now, we're able to sign defensive ends in our past histories, and they've grown into defensive tackles, and they're athletic enough to do that from a defensive end standpoint. Then you fast forward a year and a half, and now instead of being 240 pounds, they're 285 pounds with a very, very similar skill set. So there's some progression there that guys will continue to grow and mature and get bigger and move inside. And if you got a defensive end skill set that's playing inside now with defensive tackle size, then that improves your ability on defense, just the athletic ability that you got, on the 11 guys you have on the field.
So is there a year where you almost signed 10 defensive linemen?
No, that may be a stretch. I mean, I can recall a year we signed 8, but some of those guys were hybrid outside linebacker, defensive end guys,
How many of them did you ever move to offense in the past?
Very few. Yeah, very few. There's been one guy that I recall that ended up being a really good player that moved over to play tight end. There might have been an interior tackle that we signed that ended up playing guard. There's a kid we signed at Missouri years and years ago. Brad Madison was his name. He flipped back and forth and played a number of positions, and he finally stuck his senior year at defensive end and had such a great year for us. So, if you recruit athletes and you recruit guys that like the game of football, they like the process of what it takes to be a really good player, you're going to find a place for them on the field. And especially in this league, up front, it's so important on both sides of the line of scrimmage, to find guys that can play.
It's your last game at Missouri was dissecting these guys. It was just kind of what's your opinion of them now since you've been
Yeah, it was strange. You go into game planning and areas you wanted to attack, going into that last game, and then 10 days later I'm walking in with Razorback shirt on. So, you look at it through a different lens, but also I didn't once I got here, I didn't put much stock into, what the game plan looked at in that last game. So you don't know what all had gone on, don't want to know. I was just excited to be around this team.
Hey, Barry, am I saying his name right? Barry?
Kellen?
Yeah.
No, and initially when I first met him, it was Burley, and then, no, it's just like you're saying the word Burl.
Burl, okay.
Yeah, Kellen Burl.
I can say that.
You can.
What do you think about him?
He's got good speed, and really in 3 weeks' time, he's starting to transform his body. He's a guy that can run and hit, and very explosive. He's got good instincts in just the football IQ part of just the football knowledge of how to play and understand the position, and I'm excited about him. I'm glad he's here to go through the spring. So he's going to be able to get a little step up, having 15 practices underneath his belt.
Coach, this is from an outsider looking in, but when I saw your defenses, the ability to rush the passer was always a strength.
Yeah, you look really our last 2 years. This year I think the defense we finished in the top 15 in the country in most categories in a number of areas, but we were down in our sack total. But it was the best pass defensive group I've ever had, and so I don't know that we had. It's all by personnel what we had, scheme-wise, on some of the things that we called. So it goes hand. Every year you're not going to. I don't think I've ever been able to just consecutively back to back put together great sack totals. But that doesn't mean that we haven't been a good defense. But we're going to find ways to disrupt the timing. We're going to find ways to try to create pressure on the quarterback feeling, whether or not it's a sack, but getting hits on the quarterback, and also that they can feel the presence and the pressure, that they may throw off the timing or the disruptive part of what we need to do up front on having pressure in the pocket, maybe move them a little bit around. That's so important. Because
Petrino told me that of course he's a great scheme guy, but he said there's one thing that you do in football. He says if you to win, he says you hit the quarterback or you keep your quarterback from getting hit. You do those two things and you win.
There's a lot of value in that.
The rest
obviously.
of it is dressy.
There's a lot of value in that, and I know that the quarterbacks we're going to face week in and week out in this league, they're so good, and so you got to find a way to disrupt what they try to take away what they do best, and that's hard to do, but that's kind of the name of the game.
Well, if you watch the Super Bowl, that's what it came down to.
Yeah.
The first 3 quarters, they didn't hit the San Francisco quarterback, and they hit the AC quarterback, and then it flipped in the fourth quarter. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, you got to find ways, whether it's a 4-man rush, you're dropping 8, or you're bringing pressure from the second level on however that looks, to somehow, some way be disruptive.
I'm Clay Henry.
Barry Odom.
Nice to meet you, Coach.
You bet.
One of my best friends is a real